Hey everybody, it's Captain Kyle, and I'm here with a knockoff version of the Fall of Cybertron Combaticons. Yes, we have Onslaught, and Swindle, and Brawl, and yeah, Vortex, and of course Blast Off. So I saw these on there and I'm like, okay, I've gotten other knockoffs before. Why the hell not? They're usually pretty good quality. This was like 13 bucks, but then there was a shipping, so with the shipping and the tax, it came to like $27. But I'm like, okay, I paid like 33 for really good Combiner War knockoffs. These don't quite stack up. And I'm gonna go through them one by one, show you these guys plus their merged mode, and you can decide if this is worth 27 bucks. And if you want it as a weird part of your collection. Be right back. All right, so these guys did not come in a box. They came in plastic bags, so they were all kind of semi-loose. I'm gonna go over this Onslaught first. And looking at him, I mean, in vehicle mode, he doesn't roll all that well. Not the best rolling knockoff. I mean, this wheel barely turns. Maybe if I loosen the screw on this side, maybe it'll roll better. We'll try. Screw doesn't even really want to turn, so, and it feels like one of those cheap screws that's gonna get stripped as soon as you put any pressure on it, so I'm not gonna mess with it. So anyway, this is the weird version of Onslaught that came in the Fall of Cybertron set, which it makes sense. They wouldn't look like Earth vehicles. I mean, the original is pretty cool. This one, but not much to look at in vehicle mode. Let's take a look at the robot mode. Now he does come with the gun, and let's get him into his robot mode. Been so long since I've transformed the Fall of Cybertron version of this guy. I should probably look at pictures online to make sure I got him right. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much right. Let's put this weapon in his hand, or try. Okay, it doesn't seem to want to fit in his hand. I put it into his hand and it's very loose. I mean, how are you supposed to hold a gun like that? Can't even really put it on there. So, not the best. You can guess I'm not gonna recommend this set, but they're fun to look at. So, posability wise, I mean, he can do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme, does move forward, though not too far back because he's got the shield of Bruticus on his butt. I guess it protects him from being, you know, goosed. Bends at the knee. The plastic feels super cheap. The arms, if you use these, you can move them all the way around just about. It kind of stops there. Very swivelly at the, and bendy at the elbow, can go in all kinds of directions. Woohoo! Fists don't turn, the head actually turns, I'm surprised. Onslaught does twist at the waist, so kind of weird, but he does. So overall, I mean, the gun, it's a problem. What is Onslaught without a gun? Onslaught still. Okay, well, a warrior still. So there he is. His back doesn't look all that great, but you know, his butt is shielded. All right, so we'll put you aside. Let's take out another slider, Swindle. Oh, it's kind of like Swindle. You know, he wasn't my favorite, but definitely an interesting character, more concerned with profit and what's in it for him. Got a little gun on the top. I mean, he's a vehicle. He's like an armored vehicle. What's interesting is he's like as big as Brawl, which is kind of strange. So there he is in robot mode, and amazingly, his gun actually fits in his hand, doesn't fall out. And now there's a couple plugs on this thing that are supposed to pop in. They don't really fit too well, so it's a little wobbly up top. Posability wise, he's got the ball joints. He can kind of do a full Jean-Claude, almost just about. I mean, the wheels on the back of his legs, pretty crazy. Keeps him way off the ground, but you can do a split and then right away. So he twists at the waist, he bends at the knee. So, you know, no ankle swivels. I think Fall of Cybertron was before the introduction of ankle swivels. His arms can go all the way around and pop off very easily. Bends at the elbow, he's got a swivel, so, and he's, you know, can shoot. There's his head, which does not turn at all. Not a big surprise. I don't think the original one does either. And he's pretty much a shell of a bot from behind. But there he is. He doesn't look too bad. He's Swindle. But the plastic, again, feels kind of cheap. He does not feel like, you know, you could do a Jobby the Hong and throw him at something and have it not shatter. All right, Brawl. We're going with the land vehicle. So this kind of looks like a hover tank. There he is in tank mode. He's got his turn here. He's got his gun nicely hooked in here. So he did come with the gun. That was nice. Might be a good replacement gun. You know, if you lose the one that came with the actual guy, which I think is gray, but you know, any port in a storm. So there he is, there's his bottom. He's got his little connector here. All right, and you know, he can traverse his turret various directions. It's a weird looking tank, but it's a tank. All right, robot mode, here we come. So there he is in his robot mode. And he looks pretty much like the original because of his accoutrement. He does a really good Jean-Claude Van Damme, except the shit on his back keeps him from really getting to that level. And I'm not seeing a way to adjust it well so that it won't get in the way. So he does a hovering Jean-Claude Van Damme. Woo! Bends at the knee, goes to the sides, swivels. So not too bad. The arms seem like they have trouble moving. And he doesn't twist the waist, sorry, no twisting. But yeah, his arms seem to run into the rest of his body, his shoulders at least, so you can't really easily move them around. But he does bend at the elbow, swivels out because it's a ball joint, his head does not turn. And there he is. He's got the little toes. Going to be put to some dynamic poses, though I feel like he's going to fall over as soon as I let him go. Yep. Joints feel kind of loose. Plastic, again, feels cheap. Vortex! Now he's got these big old guns on the side that are really bayonets with like little pistols. He can fly in and slice you up. He's got, this is actually part of the transformation into BRUTICUS. And, you know, it's a little gun and it swivels a little bit, so that's kind of neat. He's got the same 4-blade configuration and it spins. You can see his little thing back there. Overall, it's Vortex. Not a bad helicopter. Garish colors. These are like European G2s, only those had more quality. Plastic, again, doesn't feel the best. Let's get him into his robot mode. Arm came off during transformation. Luckily, it pops back on. I also took off the rotors accidentally, but those should go back on easily enough. Now, getting the guns into his hands, well, kind of tight. And his arms don't seem to be fully articulated like the original, and they don't seem to want to stay into place. So, legs, he's got a crotch cover, but he can do the full toes up, Jean-Claude Van Damme. The legs swivel, bends at the knee, bends at the other knee. He actually kind of has this double jointed knee because of his transformation. He twists at the waist, and his arms, which like to not stay in place, and I don't see anything to plug in. I mean, they seem constricted, constrained. He's got an elbow joint, but you can't really swivel his arm. So this plate here keeps hitting his chest. As far as moving it, you can move it around. It's actually feels a little stiff on that side, not as stiff on this side. But still kind of awkward with those forearm plates. Keeps getting in the way of other stuff. His head actually does turn a little bit, which is kind of nice, but I see a ball joint back there, but he's got these plates on the side of his head. So, not the best Vortex I've ever seen. There he is, robot mode in the back. Woohoo. I'm hoping I have him transformed right, but I don't see any other way to transform him. And there he is. Go over there. And then we have Blastoff. Blastoff, who's also in the garish yellow and green color scheme. He's got his guns here on the wings. He can fly around. He's a shuttle-ish type guy. He's got these things that are supposed to latch into his wings/legs. They pop out. And shoddy feeling plastic, but we will take off these guns. And there he is. He's one of the neater looking ones from the Fall of Cybertron, though the hollow on his bottom is kind of a giveaway. But there he is. Let's put him into his robot mode. Pieces pop off again very easily. Luckily, nothing's broken so far, so can pop it back into place. He does kind of have these awkwardly long arms. These are actually supposed to go up here, so that would make a difference. Again, it's been a while since I've transformed this guy, which makes it a cooler robot mode. There he is. So his arms aren't nearly so awkwardly long, and you can put these guns in his hand, I hope. Not too tight, but a little tight. And there he is, in, again, garish colors. He's kind of neat, but again, cheap feeling plastic. I don't know that this is worth 13 bucks plus shipping plus tax, you know, that much money. They definitely had the molds. They just kind of didn't use the best variety of plastic. All right, let's put them all together and make BRUTICUS, who will apparently devastate Devastator. Now, the interesting thing is with the Fall of Cybertron guys, you take all their weapons and you put them together. And you can actually do it with these as well. So that's a nice thing, kind of. Except it seems a little loose on these sides. I don't know. Blastoff, give me your guns and take them off my rotting, rusting corpse. So I don't think the weapons quite go on the same way together. I don't know where the mess up was, but we can kind of put his guns together into that. All right, merge into BRUTICUS. So there he is in all his multicolored glory. And I do have the original one, side by side. They are pretty much in scale. Same size, same everything, but this one's a lot more garishly colored and just feels cheaper. This, just feeling the plastic, feels much nicer. I mean, the transformation is nothing to write home about. And this is not the kind of combiner that I would really try to pose in a lot of different positions. Maybe put forward his gun, but then he gets very, but then he flops forward, even the original. So it's not the best to begin with. Now I do have a more garishly colored actual one. I have the G2 version still in the box, but this one feels cheap. I mean, they transform pretty much the same. There's just quality control issues. And I mean, hey, it's not the worst knockoff I've seen, but I am not gonna recommend anyone get this. In fact, you can turn his forward. This one actually seems to have a joint. This is just moving the place where it merges into place. And the guns don't go together. I mean, is it horrible? Well, yeah. I'll put a link anyway in the description. You can get this guy if you'd like, but I'm not gonna say he's a must for your collection. He's definitely an interesting conversation piece, and he will go on my shelf next to this guy so people can be like, is that the G2? No, can't be. And then I'll explain, no, it's definitely not the G2. G2 European looking, but the quality is not quite there. You can definitely feel with the moving of the wheels, just the quality of the plastic. Neither of them are really great at, you know, standing and posing, and even his guns fall off sometimes. But if you're gonna go for it, go for the original or the G2 version. This one, $27, is it worth it to you? That's a decision you'll have to make. But there he is in the back view. He does not have anything covering his ass anymore. And yeah, so that has been the super cheap Fall of Cybertron BRUTICUS. I don't even really want to call him BRUTICUS. And side by side, you can see again, same size, but the quality. Anyways, while you're debating whether or not you want to get one of these to be made fun of by your friends in your collection, you can check out this one over here where we're actually reviewing the knockoff of the Combiner Wars version of BRUTICUS plus the Amazon Blastoff. That's one I would recommend getting. And of course, like, subscribe, comment. Super thanks would be great. We'll see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.